sit and wonder, they say, why do single women, single mothers, think that taking care of a child by themselves, just doing it all by themselves is a flex? We don't.
Okay.
We don't think it's a flex. You think that we chose to live this life and take care of children 24/7 on our own?
First off, why are you yelling? Second off, it's not that people think that it's a flex, but we cannot argue that there was a certain subset of women that utilize the flex as a coping mechanism for the bad decisions that they have made. The single mother rate for women that look like you is 50%, and my guess is that it's going to get worse in the future. At the same time, you have legitimate organizations supported by media or even political parties or affiliations that attempt to delegitimize the importance of having a two-parent household. Nobody thinks that it's a flex besides single mothers that are lying to themselves, or businesses trying to sell product to them, or political organizations trying to get a vote from them.
Go to work? Pay daycare on our own? No, if that was the case, we would have never laid down with them. Every woman thinks their dream is to have a two-parent household and a backyard with a dog and a pool, and a husband go to work and come home and lovey-dovey and watch movies. It didn't end like that. You got to understand that. See, mama's babies, daddy's maybe.
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. I cannot stand rhetoric like that because it delegitimizes the fact that women like this will go out their way to utilize that child as a manipulation tactic to get back at the damn daddy. And it delegitimizes the fact and the number of women that make the active decision to end their pregnancy early just because they wanted to. If you added up all of the pregnancy self-deletes, then you'd get a number higher than the current murder rate. So for women, it's definitely maybes too. Let's not play this game and act like it's not. Men can be deadbeat fathers, but let's not act like some of these women ain't popping pregnancy termination pills like they pop Skittles.
A mother always has to stand her ground and be there. A daddy can run off. Mother's got to stick around. Even when that child is 18 and older, we still got to be there. See, understand this. Not only did we choose peace for ourselves, we chose peace for our children. See, a lot of you women are in a household right now, and you got a man, and you stand your head so high because you got a man paying the bills, but you're miserable. It's toxic. You forgot all about your mental health. You don't even think right. You're crying your sleep to self. You crying at night by yourself when you got a man laying next to you, but he texting another woman. Sometimes you got to choose peace for yourself. That's the difference. We chose peace over our life. We chose our mental health. We benefited for our children so that they don't have to sit and listen to cussing all back and forth, throwing shit all over the wall. We chose peace in our household. It's not a flex. But I tell you one thing, peace is. So when you question it, write what I just said down.
I find it so interesting how women like this will get up on the internet and talk about something in regards to choices, saying now that they choose peace. Meanwhile, you also chose to lay down with that exact same man that got you pregnant. You're correct, ma'am. Life is about choices and decisions, and I will never shit on someone's attempt to have peace within their life, but you're only telling one side of the story. And far too often, I go over stories, women complaining just like this. You get the man's side of the story, and you hear a completely different side. And I'm not saying his side is more accurate. I'm not saying your side is more accurate, but there's a truth somewhere in there. So I hear what it is that you're saying, ma'am, but not only do you demonstrate the characteristics that would cause a man to leave with that high-ass, complaining-ass voice, but obviously you're talking from a perspective of being a bitter baby mama. You scream on the internet in front of random people for attention and validation. There is no reason for me to think that you wouldn't even know how to bring peace to a man's household.
Single mothers are literally the worst parents on the entire planet. That's the first thing. And statistics back that. So over 70% of young men that grow up under a single mother single mother in particular, end up in prison. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, 68% of young women that grow up under a single mother in particular end up a single mother herself. But when it comes to a two-parent family and a single father household, a young man has a 90% chance of never going to prison. And that is one of the biggest differences why we men have to go get our children from these freaking women. That is an issue, because the reason why so many of us are messed up is because we were all, or most of us, were raised by women, which are the worst parents on the entire planet, statistical wise.
Now, a bunch of people in the clip that I just showed were asking for sources to be cited, so let's go through some of the statistics. 63% of youth S's are from fatherless homes, 5 times the average. 90% of homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes, 32 times the average. 85% of children who show behavior disorders coming from fatherless homes, 20 times the average. 80% of ARPists with anger problems come from fatherless homes, 14 times the average. And again, here go the studies right down here. You guys can look at all of them. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes, 9 times the average. Fatherless children are twice as likely to drop out of school, with some additional statistics that are school related. Now, these are just a couple of statistics. I'm not going to bore you guys with all of the numbers, but in a generation where shitting on two-parent household or shitting on the benefit of finding a strong, productive man to be the father of your children versus prioritizing the short-term feeling of orgasm, you should know these numbers. Because if you go right up on this young lady's video with millions of views, you'll see that the top comment says, "It is a flex though, because I promise these men could not do what we do," with the 100 emoji, as if she said something fantastic. Well, Jackie O, you're a moron, and you continue to cope because of the bad decisions and consequences to your decisions that you refuse to take accountability for. So you make shit up in your feelings-based head in order to feel good about it. But alas, I found you guys another clip of a young lady in the same single mother position that's taking a bit of accountability, who's understanding the mistakes that she made and not blaming a man for it, because she understands and remembers that it takes 2 to tango, 2 to make that decision, not just one.
I don't care what any baby mama say. Having to raise your kids by yourself is not a flex, and this is coming from a single mother. Listen to your sister. Don't let any baby mama deceive you into believing that being a single mother is more convenient than being a wife. You hear me? When I was pregnant with my daughter, I went through the whole pregnancy by myself. Ain't nobody going me to no appointments, no baby shower, no gender reveal. When my water broke, I got us to the hospital and from the hospital. And I can go on and on about my baby daddy. F my baby dad. F my baby dad. But I slept with him. So what kind of woman did that make me? Okay,
Hello.
motherfucker. Okay? You way too beautiful, way too smart, way too intelligent to be going through something like that. So live your soft girl life. Ain't nothing wrong with saying you too good to be a baby mama. You right.
Yeah.
Because us strong black women not strong because we choose to be. We strong because we have to be.
Let's give a round of applause for finally seeing some women creating content that is taking accountability, holding other women responsible for the bad decisions that they have made it that results in these particular consequences. And what a lot of these women don't realize is, like, listen, whoever you gave your womb to, you don't get better than that later on in life. We will judge you based off your past, just like you judge us on our potential in the future. Now let's listen to the GOAT himself give his particular take on this. And this is the old GOAT, right? He's got a nose ring.
Things that guys need to watch out for when they're dating. Do not date single mothers. Do it at your peril. I'm not going to bash single mothers or anything like that, but bottom line, there used to be a time when a woman had a baby out of wedlock, it was few and far between. And there was some shame that went along with it, enough to where they didn't keep going out and doing it over and over again. Now it's a badge of honor. You as a man are worth too much and too valuable. If you got your head on straight, you're out doing your thing, taking care of your business, you should not be forced to pick from a crop of women who've already had another man's children. You should not have to go out here and fight the world, build such and so forth, to come home to a woman that you will at best be the 4th or 5th most important thing in her life. You deserve better than that. I am sorry, ladies, if you've had a child, that is your responsibility. Own it and stay out of the dating scene until your kids are out of the house, especially if you did it outside of wedlock.
Shout out and RIP to KS. And listen, for the young brothers that that be talking ish when I talk about the importance of improving your image. Look at Kevin right here, baby. This is before he figured out his style profile, which doesn't consist of a damn nose ring, doesn't consist of wearing a black suit, a black shirt, and a black tie, doesn't consist of him not keeping his beard kept. There's so many things within that, so many lessons to be learned within that. And I want to say he was in his 40s when he was still dressing like this and had a damn nose ring in his nose. Nevertheless.
Now, on my channel, when I was becoming an image consultant, you can watch me try every style personality. I went through times where I had plaids, colors, different textures, different patterns, different accessories, and I sat down with my own image consultant after I learned the business. I'm like, okay, what is my style? Now you guys see, I have it down. But I left all of that up so you can see where the evolution came from. Go back over my channel and you can see a guy like you that just decided to do the work.
Shout out to everybody that's still here with me towards this end of the content right here. Guys, if you like the content, throw a like on the like button. Didn't? Well, give me a nasty gram little comment down below so I can pin your dumb shit to the top. Last but not least, guys, if you want to join my men's self-development community, link to it down in the description box down below. Click in, beam up, see all the dope ish that we have in store, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber, screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by a high value man.